that include a hotel in scenic Santa Monica, an exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on your game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA is not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at UCLA. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at HuskerFanTravel.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Experience an electric vehicle firsthand at LES's EV Ride and Drive, September 28th at the LES Operations Center. Registration is open now, but spots are limited. Visit les.com/drive to reserve your drive.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, a happy Monday to you, beautiful people. A third consecutive victory Monday for Nebraska football. We are here talking about it for the next 3 hours. 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com. That and many other things going on across the wide world of football. I'm Austin Norman. To my left in studio, your right if you're watching on stream, Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. Jay, Huskers are 3-0. Big weekend coming up. Vibes are high. How was the grilling this weekend?
The grilling was a minimal this weekend, but
bummer.
You know, I mean, what is Houston Christian's name? What are they, the Hawks or something? Huskies. They got grilled. And it was hotter than Hades out there too. But overall it was a good weekend. I mean, obviously it was a Nebraska weekend, set off by the football team or the football team, back to volleyball team, and then Bud Crawford did what he does best and put all heads to bed.
We will talk about Bud Crawford coming up here in just a little bit. Really cool moment for him, for his family, obviously for the entire state of Nebraska, right? With what he was able to do. We'll talk about that a little bit more coming up. A couple head coaches already got fired over the weekend. We'll try to wrap our heads around that. Take a look at the AP poll, its most recent top 25, little NFL look into Michigan and Arch Manning, and more, all coming up here on the show. 402-464-5685. If you want to be a part of things, would love to hear from you. First question that we have for you: what grade would you give Nebraska football for its performance throughout the non-conference. Jay, we'll open this up to you. First, 3 games for Nebraska, 3-0. Overall, if you had to assign a letter grade to how the team has played so far, where would you put Nebraska at?
I mean, they've done everything they needed to do. They're 3-0. So, are you talking about like style points?
However you grade it.
Yeah, I think
open
it's
interpretation.
B plus. There's no. I could give you an A, or whatever. So, they've done everything they've needed to do. So, I guess it's an A to me. I'm about wins and losses. Everybody else is, kind of is in like how it looks and all that. And I really. You really can't judge off the last 2 weeks, and definitely like last week it was like, okay, we're on the cusp of a national championship, but I definitely think they got better at things throughout the first 3 weeks, excuse me. And so I'll just say B plus because A would be, number one in the nation, but that's, peach fuzz here.
Did Nebraska play better against Akron or Houston Christian?
I'll just say Houston Christian because they scored on defense and that's always
brings a small tear to Jay's eye.
I think both of them they did what I think I think they played good in both. There's probably some things they probably need to improve on. I'm sure that the coaches know more than I do, but they showed that they were able to go out there and consistently blow 2 inferior teams out, and that's what you should do. You should be handling your business with your starters and then allow your rotational players, backup players, and potential guys that have walked on and might not play for the rest of the season, allow them to get some valuable reps because that'll not only improve your depth, but the guys that are, let's just say that always are your practice squad guys. This is something that can obviously give them a spark in practice. Now, obviously, they should always approach practice as, a game, but, you don't want to ever get it to the point where, these kids probably thought, okay, we'll get in this game, and then they don't, or it doesn't work out. So, I think it, overall, it probably served its purpose.
Were you surprised at all that Nebraska didn't send its starters out there on either side of the ball in the second half? Not even for a single drive against Houston Christian? They did against Akron. They didn't this last week. Were you surprised by that?
Not really. I don't know. I would have pulled them. That game was over second quarter, but you had to play them to halftime. I like it. Just what's the point? What are you gonna do?
I was almost expecting them to come out for one drive just because they did it against Akron, and also because of the way the first half ended. We saw Matt Rule be really aggressive in terms of using his timeouts, trying to get one more possession. It didn't go so well. Right. 2-minute stuff doesn't go that well. So I almost wondered if we were going to see the starters come back out, treat that first possession they got like a 2-minute drive, and then be done. But obviously, no major bones to pick with them not being out there, and great reps for the 2s and eventually the 3s and the 4s for the majority of that fourth quarter.
No, I wouldn't. What are you going to do? Come back out, warm back up, and get a 2-minute. You had your 2-minute. I think you could look at it that, it's a good coaching point. This is what we're doing well. This is what we didn't do well. This is what we were set out to do, in this situation. Explain to, in this case, the offense, or I guess the whole team. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to do, or was trying to do. This is where we got, and this we do what we didn't do well, and then just kind of go from there. But, I think everything that they needed to do accomplished, and of course, how it turned out wasn't ideal, but it's I think if you come back out in the second half, I think you defeat the purpose. It gives these guys that are at halftime, you can make your assessment adjustments with the guys that were in there, and then you immediately turn to the guys that are going to start the second half. It's a good way to see how those guys can prepare for a game starting in the third quarter. Your backups and your rotational players. So right now, everything that they've done, hopefully leads up to a good performance, against Michigan. So they gotta. This is it. Not this is it, but this is going to be.
But it is an inflection point in the season already.
Well, it's going to be the best team they play.
Yeah.
And I don't think Michigan is very good.
Mm.
So, you're just going to play against guys that'll bite back. They're going to come, Michigan doesn't have the same edge that they've had, had in the past. Obviously, you lose your head coach, you lose coordinators, you lose your weight coach, which is a pretty much, if it goes your head coach, the coordinators, your weight coach is the next most important. And then he's right up in the mix of that top, 2 or 3. And then obviously with all the turmoil that they had around the program and still do, obviously in this early part of the season, there's definitely blood in the water. But to be honest with you, Michigan's at the same point as Nebraska was when Nebraska. I'm trying to think who was can't really say Bo, because he always won 9 games. Say like Riley, after the first year or so, and then obviously for us, where it's like nobody cares that Michigan's not as good as they had been.
Maybe like 2002 Nebraska.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You're still beating Michigan.
Yeah.
That when you go back and look how you'll play against ranked teams, they're not going to be like, oh, well, you beat a ranked Michigan team, but they're not going to have a long paragraph. Right. This is 2 years after Harbaugh went to the NFL and so went and all this and other stuff, and they're just going to look at you beat Michigan and they were ranked. So this is a great opportunity on like every single front. It doesn't mean that all the problems are solved, but it's saying that, you're the better team. You get there's not really a lot of excuses because we get them in the right time.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing them at the right time, kind of like Colorado last year. We were able to play them early. We play them at an optimal time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put that in
as optimal a time as you could ask for. If there's not even a great time to play a team like that,
well, I'm soft air quoting because it shouldn't matter what time you play. But
sure,
the early game stuff is out. Playing them in the middle of the day. So
middle of the day, middle of the season.
Right. First quarter of the season, and they aren't, obviously with a freshman quarterback, they aren't hitting on all cylinders. So it's a great time to play them.
We'll definitely keep talking about Michigan as we go throughout the show and obviously the course of the week. I do want to hit on some Nebraska stuff just through the non-conference, Jay. The pleasant surprises. What do you think Nebraska has done well so far through 3 games that look like it could be a building block for the Huskers as they turn the page into Big Ten play?
Well, I think, offensively, I think it was encouraging. Obviously, Emmett's been very consistent, and Dylan as well. But I think, as far as the passing attack, I think it's been each game has been a guy, which is great. So that means you can't really focus on one. I think the equal opportunity, spreading the ball around and having different body types, I think was on display. So you're starting to see, I guess their identity. Is probably a lot clearer. You're going to take what the defense gives you, and they're going to, try to pound the ball up front if they can. And so, and then also the biggest thing I think is, the improvement and the depth at all the positions, right? So, that's been something that they've been building towards. And obviously in the first 3 years or first 2 years of recruiting and developing, and you're starting to see it. So that's I wouldn't say it's a surprise, but it's good to see.
It's on track at the very least.
Yeah, maybe in some cases ahead of track with some players.
Who are some of those guys that come to mind? You think about maybe?
When you think of Quinn Clark, the younger, I guess triplets, or you couldn't say triplets. It's quadruplets or whatever you want to call it, whatever 4 means or whatever 4 is. Quartet, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Jones, Clark, Smith, and Mills.
Yeah.
Right. You throw Mosey in there as well. So you got 5 guys. So Mills, Mosey, and
Clark.
Jones are all freshmen.
Yeah.
True freshmen. I mean, that's essentially, they are just barely
Off the
been
street.
here. And then 2 redshirt freshmen. So you're looking at the depth is there, and I wouldn't say there are surprises, but I think rapid development of them is, you got to give them credit. I mean, Coach Short's done a good job, and those guys have been able to come in and embrace the challenge.
Between those guys, Cortez Mills, 5 catches, 118 yards, the long 62-yard touchdown. Isaiah Mosey has rushed once from -2 yards, but has 7 catches for 93 yards. done some damage in the return game as well. Quinn Clark, of course, had his first touchdown a couple weeks ago. I haven't seen a lot of Jeremiah Jones, 1 catch for 6 yards for him. But again, that's another guy that's gotten on the field. And Keelan Smith, 1 catch for 15 yards. None of those guys look out of place. They all look like they belong on the field. And that's even after you get past the 2 transfer additions that Nebraska brought in Dane Key and Isaiah Hunter, who've both come in and made an impact in their own way. Ja'Cory Barney Jr. has been solid, I think, through the first 3 games. When I think about the offense, Jay, one of those kind of positive, I don't want to say surprises, but developments has been Luke Lindenmeyer. Yeah. That's a guy that I was a little concerned about the uptick in volume and everything Nebraska was potentially going to ask him to do. He's looked the part, he's acted the part, he's played the part. Nebraska's in a lot of 11 personnel. He's on the field a lot. At least it seems like it from where I've been sitting. Dana Holgerson clearly trusts him. Matt Rule has had a lot to say about him. I was not necessarily skeptical. I thought he could be on the field and not get played off the field. Yeah. But I think he's turned into a legitimate piece for this Nebraska offense. I've been really impressed with him through 3 games.
Yeah, he's had a good year. I mean, obviously things have been, working well in his favor on and off the field. But I thought he was, good last year. I think, Illinois, Dylan tried to hit him on that, kind of a deep over route, just a little bit overthrow, and everybody's like, why throw to him? All right, obviously, seeing he's got, athletic ability and he's shown the ability to catch. And, I think he did a lot of the dirty work, in years past. And he worked his way up through the ranks, too. I think he came on as a walk-on. Remember when Jeff Sims was the quarterback up in Colorado, he was the primary move guy, but he was probably their best inline blocker and willing blocker. So that lets you know he was embracing a new challenge just in order to get on the field. So then he started to develop as a receiver and allowed Nebraska to lean on him. And I think he plays his, I'll just say, sneaky outlet role pretty well. I mean, you know what I mean? And, look, the more you can do, the more guys that you have that can make plays when called upon, either as a complementary piece to, let's just say, Dylan, Emmett, Dane Key, Barney, and Hunter. And then you start to get into Lindenmeyer and let's just say you stop at, Lindenmeyer, and then you just say Quinn Clark, Mills, and just stop there. Now you got 5 legit receivers. And then if you can make some hay out of Heinrich Harburg and Carter Nelson, then it's like, okay, now we see, what the depth is, and everybody's going to go out there and try to eat. So, I think the biggest thing that they've been able to do is hold serve, go to Kansas City, squeak out a victory, and then, come home and like I said, hold serve and, score a lot of points, and something that's, really good for, the I guess the morale or whatever. But, that's great. And then now you're going into Big Ten play. Things are going to get tighter. Now you got to really focus. And it's for real. I mean, I can't explain to you the difference of, I know what it's like when you go from preseason to the regular season. I'd probably say that's where they're at right now as far as, an NFL analogy. They just played preseason, right? And the first preseason game is always kind of the roughest, just kind of, getting your vibe back. And now you're going to get into the real deal. And it starts right. Like, there is no warming up to this type of intensity or this type of competition.
You don't walk in ready to go. It's going to be too late early. And that's not the way you want to start out. I'm going to get to the text line a little bit here. Eric says Ja'Cory Barney Jr. needs to stop taking big hits. Seems like it's at least once a game. Obviously got folded in half against Cincinnati on the first play. It does seem like he's gotten hit pretty hard. He's still not the biggest guy in the world. Seems like maybe there's a little bit of the Taylor Martinez effect where he's not necessarily comfortable lowering his shoulder into contact. He's going to stand up and try to make the next guy miss. And if the guy doesn't miss, they're going to get a pretty good hit on him. I want to see a little bit more from Ja'Cory Barney Jr., Jay. The stats are pretty good. Number of catches he leads the team in with 15 of them. He's second in yards behind Dane Key. And then have they not given him a rushing attempt? They've all been the little tap passes, none of the sweeps or anything. I keep waiting for Ja'Cory Barney to hit that small sliver of a crease between a couple of blocks to get through. It seems like he's one tackle, one shoelace away from having a couple bigger plays. I'd also like to see him just put his head down and go a little bit. No, he's not huge, but I do think some of that, I've noticed kind of what Eric's saying. Even if you're going to get hit, put your own shoulder down and don't get walloped, because it does seem like it happens once a game.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati was a little bit better than maybe people projected. I mean, I think the way that they play that Big 12, where they kind of play a zone and they got, the two outside guys were pretty athletic, and then the two inside guys were bigger, but they could run a little bit. And then you had like Antoine Peak Jr., who, could do, he could really, close. And when you're trying to make a big play, sometimes you can expose yourselves to what looks like a big hit. I think he's also, one thing I've remember is kind of like wiry, strong. They look skinny. It's kind of like Devontae Smith with the Eagles. They look scrawny, but they are hard to get even when you get a good hit on, it's not solid, and
not going to keep him down.
Yeah, and they're weird. They're weird. They're so small, like you can't really, kill him. So, and he's a tough kid, and
it's Miami in him.
Yeah, and he plays, plays hard, and so he's probably just learning when to try to make a guy miss, and that's just comes from, more reps and studying tape and knowing who you're going against, and then know when to kind of, all right, get down and not take an unnecessary hit. There is a kind of catch-22 there when you think about that.
There sure is. I will say this. I think Dylan Raiola's done a better job of not necessarily giving Ja'Cory Barney Jr. the hospital balls that Adrian Martinez gave Wan'Dale Robinson at times. Yeah. Wan'Dale got stood up and popped a number of times over the middle, whether he was playing in the slot or playing running back. So I think there is hope for Ja'Cory Barney Jr. on that front. Meal Ticket Jay says, fewer major penalties that are drive killers have been big for Nebraska so far this year. Does seem like, outside of the Elijah Pritchett false start on the one, there haven't been many of those penalties that set Nebraska back, A, or B, that Nebraska hasn't been able to overcome yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, it's, Coach Rule and staff have put an emphasis on it, and they probably, they've been talking, he talked about it, I think, maybe the first year. And so that's a process that you got to kind of, nurture day in and day out. And it's something that just because you did it in this case, game 3, that means you got to still view it as game 1. It's every week. Penalties don't, essentially I call it, don't punch yourself in the face when you're going into, a prize fight. And so, and then also I think that the players embracing it too, and knowing it's a point of emphasis. And I think they see, they should see the benefit of it. If you're an offense, you don't want to give the ball away. The more times that you don't give the ball away to another team or allow the other team to gain and flip the field via your own personal doing, right? It's like false starts, legal formation or unnecessary roughness or too much, when you celebrate it or taunting or whatever, then the game becomes a lot easier. And you still have the same amount of fun as long as you play with the same intensity. So, that's got to be, it's going to, penalties and field position is going to be a big factor. You got to expect that you're going to be, you're going to get Michigan's best effort. So you got to prepare to give them your best effort and just have the confidence that your best effort or, you play as good as you can and will be better than anything that Michigan can do.
The last thing for me on offense is TJ Latifi's come in, looked very in control of the show. I think all Husker fans have been really impressed with the true freshman coming in from Orange Lutheran out of California.
Anytime your quarterback hits, and it's no different. I don't mean to cut you off, Austin, but anytime your quarterback hits, you got a good class, just like with Dylan. TJ Latif, still coming to Nebraska, even though Dylan's here, showed you a little, intestinal fortitude. And he obviously has lived up to the billing of his, high school rankings, and he can only get better too.
On defense, I'll ask you about the linebackers first. Are they ready for what they're going to face against Michigan? Have you seen enough that tells you, yep, these are Big Ten caliber linebackers ready to make plays?
Yeah, I think they've gotten better. It's good to see Watson Trent, be very active because I know he's been wanting to do it and he just haven't had a lot of opportunities. And Vincent Shavers is going to be able to, bring the funk a little bit. And Javen's been in Big Ten action, for years. And so, And then you got the young pup in Dawson Merritt, where he showed the ability to play big. And so I think the linebackers that go out there and play well, and as long as they go out there and understand that this is good, this is a football game. This is a game where you can't say, okay, I just did my job. If I'm setting the edge, I got to destroy the edge, and then I got to go make football plays, because that's what Michigan is going to do. They're going to test your manhood a little bit, and that's fine. And then you just got to, you got to see how much they want to play, because they're going to see how much you want to play. But I think you can test them real early. But you got to go. It's going to be, you got to play, compete 4 quarters.
I've been really impressed with the secondary. We thought it would be good coming into the year with all the guys they brought back, but Jay, they haven't allowed 70 passing yards in the game.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It's all about who you play.
It is, but Cincinnati's put up legit passing numbers the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's Akron, it's Houston Christian. I get it, but still, in this day and age of football it's hard to give up fewer than 100 passing yards. Sierra Wright has been good. Matt Rule talked about him moving inside to play some nickel with Malcolm Hartzog out. Donnie Jones, they've been impressed with. Andrew Marshall got a shout out.
Khan, I think, too.
Yeah, Jameer Khan got a little bit of a shout out. And then Matt Rule is really complimentary of his safeties and Deshaun Singleton and Marquise Buford and what they've done. Allowing less than 200 passing yards through 3 games is a feat no matter how you're playing. I knew the secondary would be good. I didn't realize it would be this good for Nebraska this early on.
Well, they've done what they're supposed to do. I think Sierra Wright, when he stepped in, I think USC was his first start. I don't want to, whatever it was.
Officially, yeah, it was.
Yeah. But I think, he was a late ad. We'll keep talking about it. He was late ad last year, I think in June, right? It was super late.
It was late, yeah.
But one thing that's about him, number one, he's a good kid. He's a solid kid, tough kid. He's a competitor, though. Like, there's guys that say they compete, he competes. That right there, that you're in this day and age, you're 4 steps ahead right there, right? He's a competitor. He got good energy. And then you bring in Marshall, who primarily they were thinking about it. It looked like it was like to be the return guy, because that's where he, I think where he came from. It was Idaho or Montana?
Idaho,
yep. Where he had like 2 or 3 returns, and of course he could play corner. But when you see him, he's a smooth operator and very, he's steady. And I think he's probably, I wouldn't say he's a little bit better than what they thought, but I think they've been, pleasantly, pleased with being maybe surprised with how good he is out there in the corner. So now you got 2 guys there, right? And then you got the 3 guys, in the back that seem like they played with each other forever, and they can kind of, erase some stuff. And for the most part, they've tackled better this year than last year, right? And I think the lanes aren't as big, so that lets me know the defense is playing better. Well, then you throw in Jones, right, who got his chance in the bowl game, and he's a bigger corner, and he can play slot. You've seen him make plays in the run game, kind of make plays in I call it the extended run game, when they throw those little like flares or slot screens. And then you got Khan, and then you've seen what's the little dude that came from Colorado?
Guthrie.
Guthrie.
Yeah. He's Nebraska's second leading tackler.
I was gonna say Gaither, but I know it was Guthrie, right? You're pleasantly surprised by, again, another freshman.
I'm proud of you for pausing to get the name right, not just going for it. That's growth, Jay.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you, man.
I mean, it's
way to go.
I don't take it that serious. People still come up to me and ask me if I'm related to George Foreman. You know what I'm saying? Seriously.
George Foreman wishes.
Yeah, no, I wish. That means I'd be paid. I'd be living in Houston, and my name would be George
Jr.
Something with George. I'd be like the 8th.
Well, if you're in Houston, it'd be Jorge.
Hey, come out there with the Mariachi band, like my boy Bud. But I think they've done whatever they needed to do, and now they got to continue to. The one thing is, like, when you're out there and you kind of put yourself out there, you're gonna get everybody's best shot. So now you got you gotta just bring it on.
We'll get to some more texts during break. See if we want to get to those. If not, we will come back and we'll talk about a couple head coaches already getting the axe early on.
UCLA, man, they did my boy wrong, man.
Or did they do? Was it self-preservation? Well, we'll talk about that and more when we get back to Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies and light winds. It'll be warm with an afternoon high near 89. Tonight, mostly clear skies and calm winds, low near 66. Tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies and light winds. It'll be hot with a high around 90. Meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on Old School 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredient Butcher Shop, 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. So, Jay, Deshaun Foster got done dirty? Martin Jarman at UCLA? Mistreated him? What's going on?
I don't think it's like mistreat, but I mean, well, first of all, Chip left when he left, and that's his choice, and that's fine. You know, and he left, I think, a lot because of lack of recruiting budget and support, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes in the offense coordinator. Great move for him.
Well, and they also said they were going to fire him if he didn't beat USC. They beat USC and said, I'm going to leave before.
Yeah, the next year. And there was, he was feeling a little heat, but I think he could have called their bluff and been fine. And, you know, they obviously had recruited and developed decently enough, as we saw on display last against us, right? And, you know, maybe, it's better to leave before you get fired or whatever Chip was doing. But Deshaun's a late hire. He's a position coach. Never been a head coach. Chip didn't have him as associate head coach prior. So I'm assuming he wasn't maybe in those meetings. Well, of course, he's going to take the job. It'd be no different, and then so that whole year is gone. So, the portal opens when Chip leaves. Who knows what happens after that? And then you're essentially playing catch up. Won 4 of the last 6 games last year. And then here you are. You get Nico, but you lost 3 guys on defense. Drafted tight end, NFL talent. So 4 or 5 guys off that team that are NFL talent. And your senior quarterback that started to really play well. And you're kind of like, I don't even know if you want to call him a wing back, running back. He was gone. And you lost Eric Bieniemy, who was probably your confidant as far as keeping the culture, credibility as offensive play calling. So all that stuff is gone, just like that. Now you're trying to reset, re-recruit, develop, and then now you're in the Big Ten. 3 games into the season, yeah, I know that you paid New Mexico that type of $1.2 million to come in and play. But even if Chip Kelly's there, you could have lost to New Mexico.
Way that roster's looking right now?
No, the way that they played, with Nico and what they played Utah. Utah's obviously a legit team. Their quarterback is good. You knew there was going to be some transition, and then all of a sudden you can them after 3 games. You were literally set up to fail. Now, being set up to fail, and he's probably got some buyout and all that, but it's still his alma mater, and he wanted to see this thing and do it right. I just thought it was an awful early time to pull the plug on a young coach. And maybe it's things that, you could say clock management and all that, right? They say they even get on Bill Belichick about clock management.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been coaching probably longer than I've been on the earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get on Nick Saban about clock management. They get it. They used to get on Kirby Smart.
1 second ticks by that the fans don't like. You are hearing about it.
They're on Shane Steichen of trying to play for a 60-yard field goal. Now, it worked out for him, but these are professional coaches. So nobody's oblivious to clock management and all that crap. It happens. And that's probably
it's the biggest critique of Andy Reid.
For real. So, I mean, heck, even Deion had one in the first game against Georgia Tech, or maybe whatever the game, whatever it was, and so forth and so on. And then you pull the plug on them, and maybe you just lost all faith in them. But if you lost all faith in them by game 14, you never had faith in them in game 1. Sure, he's going to be compensated and stuff like that. I just felt like it was just it was not the probably best way. I just felt it was way too quick.
So I guess what's the bigger sin? Hiring him in the first place or firing him this early? Given UCLA specifically, I mean, like you said, they hired him late just because of how everything went down.
I think UCLA. Well, I think firing him that quickly. You hired him. I mean, he has qualities to be a good head coach. He's obviously can lead. Obviously he knows the landscape. He's from Cali. He knows all that stuff. So he has all the qualities to do it, and he's a great person. In and out of the office. He's a great person. He was a great teammate, a great pro. He's tough. So all the qualities that you need, from a, coach, that he has it. Now, you could say, okay, well, is he ready for that position? Then you say, okay, well, you should have never hired him in the first place, but you did hire him. So it lets me know you weren't supporting him. So after the season, Bieniemy's going, then you're like, all right, dude, you need to get you a veteran associate head coach that can really plug all the holes because our roster is depleted.
And maybe you don't have those connections, but we will help you find
right, or assist you into it, or very, very push you towards it, or at least have some check marks to. I doubt that he went into the season saying, okay, if you lose in New Mexico, you're going to get fired. Because he would have done the same thing Chip Kelly's doing. This is a pattern with UCLA. Yeah. They don't have support from their donors or whatever it is. They don't put a lot of support or even thought into their football team. Now, they're probably a little jealous that USC finally looks like they have their ducks in a row. And now you're like, okay, look at Lincoln Riley. It is. Now it's like, okay, well, this is the coach they got. Look at our coach. You think who are you going to really go get unless you're going to get another coach is going to get his first time coaching experience?
Cough, cough, Tony White, cough, cough.
You might. Why? He played there. Why wouldn't he? He's done some good things. He's been up for jobs. I'm sure they've, got him on a short list.
Here's the list from The Athletic. Bunch of interesting names. Right. D'Anton Lynn, right across town.
Yeah.
Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
Jonathan Smith, Pasadena native.
From Michigan
State.
He ain't leaving. Why?
Ryan Silverfield from Memphis. Clark Lee at Vandy, but that's his alma mater. Jed Fish says key people at UCLA like Fish.
A lot of people like people.
He was their OC and interim head coach in 2017.
Yeah.
Kalani Sitake, BYU. Matt Campbell, PJ Fleck, Will Stein, Nate Shielhaas, and they finally get to Tony White.
Yeah. Well, PJ Fleck name been associated with that job like 85 times. But it hasn't happened.
Probably won't happen.
I would find it wouldn't see. I don't know if it would be an upgrade. I don't know. I mean, unless they get something like Signetti, where like we hire you, we're gonna pay you, we're gonna double our NIL for the next 3-4 years. We're gonna upgrade some facilities, whatever they're gonna do. Yeah. But I think Tony White would be a good fit there. I think he has head coaching qualities.
But would they support him? That's what it comes down to. Would he get the resources? Would he get the investment? Who does he bring in around?
I don't think he'd take the job, considering what happened to Deshaun Foster. But what happens is that they like, oh, we hired one. We hear it around here. We already hired a Nebraska guy. We can't do it again.
Right.
This is the dumbest thing ever. Then you hire then you don't hire a Nebraska guy. Then that didn't work out. We got to hire a Nebraska guy. Why don't you just
hire the right guy?
Yeah. Why don't you just stop trying to like talk yourself in and out of stuff, and then stop trying to find reasons why not to hire Nebraska people when actually people can do the job, and guys that can come here that aren't part of Nebraska can do the job. I think sometimes that just gets lost. Like that's not first on the docket to talk about. Just do the job.
1508. UCLA is clearly a little brother to USC, has to compete with a lot of pro teams for support. It might be a bottom 5 Power 4 conference job for football. Agree or disagree?
Because of how they act. Lack of support.
But is that UCLA's fault?
Yeah.
Or
it's been their fault.
So you're saying that they should be better and they're allowing it to be this bad.
They should be way better.
So it shouldn't be a bottom 5 job.
It should not, but it is.
They've turned it into one.
Yeah. Okay. It's slowly but surely. It's like a bad like is lactose intolerant. Boy, that rumble starts to become an action.
Rumble.
They're in full red alert on the porcelain throne. So, I mean, there's all that list there. All of them can do the job. I I hate it for like Tony White. Say Florida State continues along the path that they're having. The main reason they won't hire Tony White because he's never been a head coach. This is here. I'm gonna just get on a little thing, right? Like a little soapbox. Here's the. I don't want to say hate because that's obviously what the whole climate of hate is obviously not the word. What really ticks me off is when you hear people and they say, especially about when like Nebraska hires a coach or doesn't, or they already they hire a coach, then they already try to set the path that he's not going to be successful. Well, like, oh, he's never coached before, or you've never done this before. Well, there's a first time, you don't, they say, oh, he doesn't have experience. Well, how the hell do you get experience? What do you do? I mean, do you just go to experience school and then come back?
It's like the entry level jobs that you need 3 years of experience to get.
Right. It's like it's sure. Your education, your resume is based on whether if you're in this case Deshaun Foster and Tony White, you played on the field and you've coached. But more importantly, are you a good person? Are you a good coach? Then you start to kind of go from there. And sure, being a head coach is a lot more difficult now because you're running a corporation and all that. And so you got to have a good support staff around you. But it'll be interesting to say, because as much as you say that, a first time head coach can't do it, you have with the older Mullen and Campbell, would he fit out in California? That you say that, okay, yeah. Well, what can he do? Can he really recruit California? Then that's what they're going to say. Whereas guys like Tony White that's been out there, Jed Fish, they kind of know how to maybe navigate that UCLA system a little bit better than everybody else.
Would you rather have a guy that's already failed somewhere else or a guy that hasn't failed yet as a head coach? That's a Dan Mullen sort of retread, right? Who's had some decent success. I mean, the on-field was less the problem at Florida. It was more his general disposition toward recruiting than anything. Well, I mean, same kind of thing with Joe Moorhead, Mississippi State.
People can change. And, look, there's the old saying, look, coaches get hired to get fired. I mean, I remember Jerry Burns telling me that, when I would walk around and hang out with him, I was a ball boy, and that was way back in the day. So, as long as you kind of learn from I don't ever say, from your mistakes, but what kind of stopped you from being successful, that's the best way you see it. Bill Belichick was fired. Okay. By measurement, I guess measurements, he failed at Cleveland by measurements, right?
Nick Saban was fired.
Nick Saban was fired. He failed. Well, I don't know. I think he just left the Dolphins, but technically
was going to be, but
he failed at the Dolphins. And now look at them, the two of the best in their own, college and obviously in the pros. And so I think you just got to hire the right person that's going to be, looking at UCLA that they're trying to build it. You got to have the same buy-in from the AD and then the powers that be as well. I think it's a harder job at UCLA now that they're in the Big Ten versus when they're in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
I think it became not extremely hard, but
when your competition is, not to throw anyone under the bus, but Washington State, Oregon State, current version of Stanford, Cal, you can pick up a few wins a year.
Oh,
just like that in the Pac-12, right? As opposed to, oh wait, you have to go all the way across the country to play on a Friday night at Rutgers and then here comes Penn State to town, and oh wait, Oregon's still around, so you didn't get a chance to duck them by chance. Washington's better.
Yeah, it's tougher. And it's a different brand of football, so it takes you a little while to kind of get your roster reset, which is, also a problem. Is did they not know that they have a Pac-12 roster more than anybody have a Pac-12 roster?
And USC is not far behind on that front.
No, but
they're just making it work.
But Lincoln Riley's been there longer.
Yeah,
longer. Excuse me, and he's been actively trying to fix that.
Sure.
And he's done a good. They've done it. And they've kind of changed the way they do their off-season program, so forth and so on. Sean Foster just got there, and then now he's gone. I mean, it's sure he probably could have done a better job. Could they have supported him better? Sure. It goes both ways.
Let's go ahead and take a break here. We will talk about the other head coach firing, this time out on the East Coast. Virginia Tech fires Brent Pry. What does that mean for the Hokies? What are the directions they could go? And $50 for Grotto up for grabs for you. Get ready to play some trivia for $50 at Grotto Bar and Lounge when we get back to Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Over 75% of the patients that come to Limitless Male have been told over and over again by their primary care providers that their testosterone level is fine. Guess what? If you have all the symptoms of low testosterone, you're not fine. Come get a second opinion at Limitless Male. We have helped tens of thousands of men feel optimal again, and we can help you. Stop waiting. Come see the men's health experts. Book your free consult online at limitlessmale.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Need a tractor that works as hard as you do? Whether you're baling hay or feeding cattle, a John Deere 6M or 6R from Landmark Implement is built to handle it all. And right now, you can get 0% fixed rate financing for up to 72 months on new in-stock models. That's 6 years with zero interest on the tractor your operation depends on. Hurry into your local Landmark Implement or visit landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
We strive to help people get into home ownership. That is the American dream. Having something that you can go home at night and say, this is mine, is very important. The great thing about Remington Homes is affordability.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
The exciting thing about a Remington home is you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. We give you a lot of choices, and you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed with 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Experience an electric vehicle firsthand at LES's EV Ride and Drive, September 28th at the LES Operations Center. Registration is open now, but spots are limited. Visit les.com/drive to reserve your drive.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're wrapping up hour one of Old School here in 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. Everyone's favorite question to ask is, what's for dinner? The easy answer is Grotto Bar and Lounge, located in the Clock Tower Shopping Center at 70th and A. Grotto Bar and Lounge features a menu full of delicious options, ranging from unique menu items like the peanut butter burger or the wizard pastrami sandwich to plenty more traditional items as well. They also have daily specials and incredible drink options. Visit Grotto Bar and Lounge today at 70th and A. I can personally attest to Grotto to become a fast favorite for a post-church brunch spot for me and my family. We were just there yesterday as well. Great service, great food, great people. Grotto Bar and Lounge, Clock Tower Shopping Plaza at 70th and A. All right, for $50 to Grotto, how many times has Virginia Tech finished the season ranked in the AP Top 25 since Frank Beamer left after the 2015 season? Texter number 2 with the right answer. How many times has Virginia Tech finished the year ranked since Frank Beamer's tenure at Virginia Tech ended in 2015? Gets $50 to Grotto Bar and Lounge. That's the question, Jay, because Brent Pry gone after going 16-24 in 4 seasons, 3 and change seasons, I should say, in charge of Virginia Tech Hokies program. His tenure started in a bad way. It ended in the same way. Losses to Old Dominion, 45-26, after getting blown out in the second half by Vanderbilt last week. How similar or different are the Virginia Tech and UCLA firings?
Significantly different, because I think that Deshaun Foster just got there. Now, granted, you could probably just, if you look at the snapshot of losing it to Old Dominion in New Mexico, you're right on. It's right on par. But I think Virginia Tech, at least in the preseason, from all the big name guys that you see on the different networks, was a team that was mentioned to be up there with Clemson. And Virginia Tech was a dark horse for the college football playoffs. So obviously they did not reach anything close to the standard expectations, what was perceived to be coming out of Blacksburg. So I think Pry is I think he was a unique hire when he was hired. I think it was wouldn't say a hard job afterwards, but I think, he's a defensive guy, Bud Foster,
who was back on staff as an analyst.
Right. But that he had a big stronghold on that team, with Beamer and, not really being, up for the job. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I think Virginia Tech is somewhat like Nebraska. I think there's a certain way they need to play. I think there's a plethora of talent in and around that area. I think they started to lose some recruits to Old Dominion. You heard about that, or they didn't recruit guys that went to Old Dominion and came back to bite them in the butt. And we heard about that the first time Old Dominion beat them. Then they amped up their recruiting. I know that as a fact because Pearson Prelude, who was a former teammate of mine, one of the solidest dudes out there, is on their staff, and he's helping. No prior coaching experience, just to let you know. Not just playing.
Got to experience somewhere.
Yeah. he got a lot of them at the highest level. And him and Andre Davis, who's another former teammate of mine.
Did he have any experience?
No, but Andre is helping like with alumni and stuff like that, but he also helps on the coaching as well.
Gotcha.
So they really went in on it. And I think their offense was anemic, probably the nicest way to say it. Needed some iron.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was on a very, very short leash. And I think that leash got shorter based on the preseason hype. Now, the preseason hype was based on Florida State not being what they were. They're okay with Miami being what they were. They really didn't. They assumed Clemson would be Clemson.
Mm-hmm. You assume SMU and Louisville are
just
half step worse, and you can catch them.
You can catch them.
Mm-hmm.
You had a good schedule.
Carolina, who knows? Duke, probably not the same.
And you had a good, you felt like a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You probably didn't really think Miami would be this good. And then now and then Georgia Tech, and then it's like everything's just blown up.
The new ACC dark horse is Cal, by the way. Watch out. I told you the Gophers had to watch out, Jeff. I tried to warn you.
I watched that. I expected the Gophers to turn it on. They showed. I think it was that travel out there, man. I played out. Cal is a different place to play.
Mm.
It's a weird kind of campus. It's a bunch of smart kids, but at night they get turned up. I call them prison stadiums when they're like below ground level.
Oh yeah, they dig them into the ground instead of up above. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of the Longest Yard.
Dang.
And so it's so they got and Cal's good, man. I mean,
they're solid. Mm-hmm.
They lost Hunter, they lost the quarterback, and they're still kicking. They're still
putting it. Balling.
But thank you for not bringing back Hunter, and their quarterback is doing well. It looks like right now in Indiana, and they're tough.
D-Train, you are the winner of the $50 to Grotto Bar and Lounge. 2 times since Frank Beamer left, Virginia Tech has finished the year ranked in the final AP poll, the postseason.
I was going to say
poll.
1.
It was 2. It was the first 2 years of Justin Fuente. They went 10-4, played for the ACC championship in 2016, have not been back since. 9-4 with a Camping World Bowl loss, and then a 6-7, 8-5, 5-6,
right.
and 5-5 for Justin Fuente.
You know me and Justin Fuente got a connection.
So I've been told. Let's go to break. We'll be back. More college football, NFL talk, an hour or 2 of Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's
50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates, and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're rolling through Old School on a Monday. Nebraska football 3-0. That is more wins than the two teams we're about to talk about combined. This is Old School, brought to you by, of course, the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Jay, Notre Dame remains ranked. They've played twice in 3 weeks and lost both times. You know who else has lost twice? The Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
First time they've had a 3-game losing streak in Patrick Mahomes' career, once you include the Super Bowl from last year. And first time they've started a season out 0-2 with 15 at the helm. Who has more reasons for concern, or if you want to take it this way, who has more reasons to be optimistic that their 0-2 start will turn around between the Notre Dame fighting Marcus Freeman Golden Irish and the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, I think concern is with Notre Dame because they lost both games the same way. Very tight games, obviously, and it could be encouraging, but the Miami game really wasn't as close as the scoreboard said, but then obviously Texas A&M game, you had control of the game, and obviously Nate Borkature was able to represent at the end. And when you look at Notre Dame's schedule, Purdue game becomes a little bit more of a grind, considering that Purdue has shown they're 2-1. They played USC somewhat tough. They played USC tougher than people would project. You have a defensive-minded coach in Barry Odom. Notre Dame's offense, for the most part, has been, average at best, right? Or at least not consistent. Then they go down to Arkansas.
Woo! Weird one.
Right? Boise State, North Carolina State, USC, at Boston College, Navy, at Pitt, Syracuse, at Stanford. This could be a season where they're saying, like, Marcus Freeman got lucky and signed his contract before the offseason.
But you can see them beating Purdue. You can see them beating Arkansas.
I can see them beating everybody else on their schedule, but I can see them losing to everybody as well. Most likely probably not Navy, right? Not Stanford. Okay, so
on the road, never know.
They would have to try harder at losing that game than winning.
It's the Andrew Luck effect. Watch out.
I'm going to give
Stanford's
them
very bad,
Navy
you're right.
and Stanford. Boise looks horrible.
So up to 3-9. Boston College.
And Purdue. I think they're desperate. They'll beat Purdue. Arkansas is going to be a hard game, and it's 11 o'clock down in Arkansas. NC State probably. USC at home. That's probably an L. At night at Boston College. Boston College has
off a bye week.
And Boston College has a better offense than projected. And at Pitt, which is always a tough place to play, and then they got a tough Syracuse team coming in there. Might be a 6-6 season.
At this point,
foregone conclusion of going to being the at large from the group of 5
to hoping for bowl eligibility. The offenses looked fine for Notre Dame for the most part. Obviously, some early season struggles against Miami, but you put up 41 points on really anyone from the SEC.
Yeah,
that's not nothing, right? I think CJ Carr has looked fine so far in his Notre Dame debut. You can see why they went with him, but you see Xavier Watts gone. Maybe he's there on that play to Borkature on the back end to erase that. He's not there anymore. Pass rush hasn't gotten home for Notre Dame really at all year long. I still think they get bowl eligible. I'm not sold on North Carolina State.
I think they make a bowl game, but it's not going to be the type of season that they want. But I think they play. I think they played above their head last year.
Who played more above their head last year, Indiana or Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
Really?
Indiana's got a good team.
Notre Dame was really good too, though.
They had good players.
Notre Dame might have had the best player in either of those two teams.
Talking about
Love or Xavier Watts. I mean, take your pick. Take your pick between those two guys.
I guess I would say Indiana played above it, but I think Indiana is probably a little bit better. They were better long term, obviously.
You trust Ignetti to build a more sustainable product than Freeman?
No, I just think it's just a down year. And I think expectation, sometimes you get close and they're like, okay, it's rinse and repeat. Notre Dame lost a lot. Riley Leonard, the way he played and the way they kind of really was able to go to that quarterback run game really paid dividends for him, along with Love. And defensively, they were pretty solid. I think they lost a corner or two to the pros and different players like that. So you lose that. And then now the games that you were, they won this type of game last year down in College Station. They lost a shootout this year.
But it was the defense last year. It was 23-13 last year in College Station. This is 44-41.
Right.
41-40.
But also, forget the players that go to the pros. Al Golden's gone.
Mm-hmm. Royals Award winner.
And his style of defense is gone. He was more in your face, man to man. This is kind of more zone, and obviously that allows I wouldn't say anemic passing game from Texas A&M, but an average passing quarterback. Not to have his way, but to be able to navigate through a Notre Dame defense pretty easily, which is significantly different than last year.
Mud Dog wants to know, Jay, what do you think Indiana's record would be this year if they'd played Miami and A&M to open up?
It's a good question. 1-1.
Probably still lose to Miami, find a way to outshoot out A&M.
Here's what Indiana does defensively. Really, really good. And especially what they did last year. They scheme up their blitzes in their run, like their whole thing. It's timely schemes, and their continuity between the staff is good. It's kind of like Detroit was with their two coordinators that been together. Nobody's really plucked off their staff yet.
Been through the mud together, know each other.
And they know exactly what they want. They kind of really, the continuity there is there. That's what they really do good or do well defensively, which would have helped them against Texas A&M. I don't think Marcel Reed throws for 360 yards against anybody for the rest of his career.
More the dual threat guy than the drop back passer. So I think that's a fair take.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. 360 is a different animal.
Yeah. I mean,
that was a nice play to Borgature at the end, though. Pump fake with the guy in his face, get around him, and still drop it in the bucket like that?
He had 20 incompletions, and he had 360 yards on 17 completions. I mean, it was
that's 20 yards to pass.
It was boom or bust. Now you were busting a lot, so I mean.
The flip side of that then for Notre Dame is Jeremiah Love's not even averaging 4 yards a pop.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Now, Jadarian Price as the back, 18 carries for him at 6.3 yards per carry. You have two good ones, right? They're kind of Penn State light in that way, where you probably take Allen and Singleton ahead of those two guys. I am a little surprised, though, Jay. I mean, you look at just overall, they've ran the ball 31 times a game on average, or passed it 31 times a game on average, ran it 33.5 times a game, which isn't a huge difference. I would have expected that to lean a little bit more to the rushing side of the ball, except then you take into account game circumstance. You've been down.
Yeah.
You found yourself trailing. You weren't able to run the clock out or ice the game against A&M, got up by 6, and then that funky extra point attempt. Again, another little special teams thing what was the issue with Notre Dame last year? Didn't have a great field goal kicker. Dude was nailed at the end of the year when they needed him to be. Well, something goes wrong in that operation. Then you don't have the playmakers on defense keep up with tempo and what A&M needs to do. But Notre Dame also hasn't been playing from ahead, where it could put its freshman quarterback in more advantageous positions because the defense has gotten them down early.
Yeah, it's definitely a different year. And I mean, you could come back with the same team. I would say, same team personnel-wise, it'd be a different team. And a lot of these guys are facing, some of the, great play of the year before. Some in their revisionist history was like, okay, we'll pull this game out. And you felt very comfortable with. I think the Riley Leonard experience gelled very quickly. Obviously the Northern Illinois loss, but then I think the ability to bounce back was instantaneous, and then he played well too. So then now you got a freshman quarterback. He didn't have that experience. You got to think Riley Leonard was, before he got hurt against Duke.
Or against Notre Dame. It was for Duke against Notre Dame. It was that game. Yeah.
He was, I wouldn't say a front runner for a Heisman, but he was in the
combo.
Closest thing Duke has had from a quarterback standpoint is an unstoppable force. And then he goes to Notre Dame and he pairs with that, probably a little bit better and seasoned offensive line. They do. And I think Notre Dame lost one of their linemen in camp this year.
Jagusa.
Yeah. And so that
who's
hurts,
their NFL guy.
Right. So that hurts as well.
Plus Rocco gone, plus the center gone.
Yeah. So, that lifeline of that team is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to think on the other side last year, they had Xavier Watts, who was, as we saw just last night, he was the ultimate eraser.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to Notre Dame and not Nebraska. And I know why.
Yeah. Wildly unfortunate on a number of fronts. Talk about the lifeline being gone, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes is still there, but the talent around him on offense, he hasn't been able to elevate it. Offensive line has been hit or miss. Defense is still solid, but maybe lacking a bit of that pass rush difference maker as well. What's wrong with the Chiefs, and why are you less concerned for them than you were Notre Dame?
I'm less concerned. I mean, this is just part of being – they weren't the Super Bowl champs, but it's just part of being a Super Bowl champion. And it's just part of being on the Chiefs. Just you're going to get everybody's best shot. Philadelphia has a little bit of an edge as far as talent-wise. They know you know them. And then you start the season off with a game against a interdivision game against a tough playoff team like the Chargers in Brazil. And the Chargers are fully loaded as far as like all their players.
Is week one. They got a chance to gear up for you.
And that's the best thing you're going to get. Now the Chiefs aren't as talented as they had been, right? And obviously you never expect Travis Kelce to drop that pass
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be 2-0 if he has 2 more catches.
Right. And that's what you never expect. Now,
but should you expect it, given where he's at in his career? Is he to that point where you can't bank on him catching it?
I mean, I think you're going to I like this year's Travis Kelce more versus last year's.
Okay.
I think he's in it this year.
Okay.
And I think it's frustrating because I think that you look at it right now. Okay, you got Tyquan Thornton, young. Hollywood Brown, young.
And injured and out of the lineup.
Right. Juju Smith-Schuster, kind of like
retread.
Right. Dude, that's an extreme. You talking about skill positions. Take Travis Kelce out there. You'd like to have him on a pitch count. Right?
Yeah. But they won a Super Bowl with essentially the same crew, though.
Valdez-Scantling. Rice isn't here. And
right.
okay, but you got to think. was Scantling and Juju Smith-Schuster. Those were the two, those are the better years, those two.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the emergence of Rice as the true number one get open that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Kelsey at a clip that was serious. And then you
McKinnon as a dark horse.
McKinnon as kind of the scat back, and he was a matchup problem. And then you had Pacheco that was just beating the ground up, and your offensive line was it was a different team. And Hollywood Brown hasn't been what they expected when they got him, and Worthy's out. So you got to think they are playing or fighting with one hand behind the back right now. Defense is good. I think there's something off between. This is just my opinion. Between Carl Loftus and Chris Jones. Carl Loftus just got paid.
Yeah.
Chris Jones wants to get paid.
Gotten paid a couple times, but not this last offseason.
He wants to get paid. Who's the guy on defense? Who's the Patrick Mahomes on defense?
It's always been Chris Jones for them.
And who just got paid?
Not Chris Jones.
Right. So he's thinking, okay, let's just look at Carl Loftus, right?
But neither did Tranquil. Or not Tranquil, I mean McDuffie on the outside, right? They didn't come to an extension. He's been the dude outside for them.
Well, who goes hand in hand?
Pass rush and DBs.
So when you think about Carl Loftus, right? He had 8 sacks last year. And he came in, he's at 6, he's at 10.5, he had 8. He's doing his job, right? But internally, they're probably, and I think one of their defensive ends left last year via free agency, which is when Chris Jones is looking, he's looking at the whole landscape. He's in McDuffie. McDuffie's like, all right, I'll bet on myself, probably franchise next year.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jones might be gone or franchise.
He's 35 right now.
Right, but that's why he wants it, and he wants another,
Sorry, 31.
Yeah. He wants another contract, and so I don't know if there's strife, but I think it's a unique. Look, they've won so much and won so many Super Bowls. They've had long seasons. You got some guys that want to kind of, Chris Jones wants to get one more big contract, and the Chiefs didn't take care of him, or at least to what he wanted. So I just think there's some frustration that they haven't lost like this, and I also last year they won all those 1-score games,
mm-hmm.
and so you kind of expect it, but you can win a Super Bowl winning 1-score games, and then you could be not in the playoffs, not losing half of those games the next year. And that's the crazy thing about it. You got to think it's a 1-score game against the Chargers, 1-score game against the Eagles.
You're one play away from Chris Jones who goes under instead of over, kind of freelances.
Yeah.
Maybe to some of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm still Chris Jones. You put me outside. I'm the dude on this defense. I'm going to go make a play. Backfires and bites them on top of a Kelsey drop. And then here this last week, same thing against the Eagles. Did a decent job. I mean, Jalen Hurts, I think, still has 2 completions over 10 yards all year. Defense did its part. You hold the Eagles to 20 points. That's much better than you did against the same team 7 months ago. Again, I know it's not the exact same guys, but the offense was the issue. I mean, 21 and 17 points, averaging 19 points per game. That's unacceptable when you have arguably the greatest quarterback of his generation, who's maybe not sliding back into the pack with his performance, but the results are.
Well, I mean, they have to reinvent themselves. They're going to have to reinvent this Chiefs offense, but they can't do it until they get that full arsenal of weapons. That's why it's so important for the off the field stuff to match the on field and the on the field to match the off the field. Because that window can close on Kansas City very quickly because Rice and them were doing whatever. You had the Tyreek Hill situation, which obviously it looks like they knew a lot more about the Tyreek Hill that we didn't know about before. So it really wasn't worth it when they could have really paid him in his prime, and you might not even be having this conversation right now. Now I think that what they've also been able to do is kind of do a little bit of what the Eagles have been able to do. They've been able to go get bargain guys a couple years ago that still had a year or two left of good years. And then obviously Juju went off and got paid, and obviously Scantling as well went off and got paid at the right time. Those options aren't there. They thought they got it with Hollywood Brown, then they drafted Worthy. Essentially, you drafted the same player. You drafted the same player you just signed in free agency. Both of them are injury prone, whether it's friendly fire or not. And so they're just facing a little bit of a challenge now. But I think right now, Okay, they got 3 games. The next 3 games are crucial before they play the Lions, right? So you play the Giants, you got to win.
Host the Ravens.
You host the Ravens. You feel like you can hang with the Ravens just because defensively you can do well. And
Baltimore hasn't beat you like that.
They haven't beat you like that. So if you can get to 2-2, you can go down to Jacksonville, which will be a hard test, and beat Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you like your chances against the Lions, and then you could be right back in
short
business.
week against the Lions, though.
You still like your chances. The Lions have chinks in their armor. I know they played the Bears and got some get back, but I think this is a time where the Lions are
gettable.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you're the Chiefs, and you got Patrick Mahomes.
Worst case scenario for the Chiefs after the Lions game is 0-6 on the table. Are they 2-4?
2-4. Like if they lost to the Lions, 2-4.
Is 4-2 best case? 3-3?
4-2.
I think 3-3 is most likely. Is 4-2 achievable?
Yeah. But the good thing that the Chiefs can do, they can turn it around just like that.
After that Lions game, then to your point, host the Raiders, ought to get that one. Commanders, hope that's an entertaining matchup. Go to the Bills.
Yeah.
Yep, I tend to agree there. Then you go to the Broncos, host the Colts, turn around short week, go down to Dallas. Then you get Texans at home. You go stay home, actually, host the Chargers, go to the Titans. You play on Christmas again, short week against the Broncos, and then go to the Raiders to close out the regular season. It's looking like this is a 10-7 team, 11-6. Are there 12 wins? Can the Chiefs pull off 12-3?
It's not as easy as it looks, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying this is, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm shooting for 11 wins.
Yeah.
1 seed is pretty much out the window at this point, given the first 2 losses. You're going to be in a dogfight for the division. You got to beat the Chargers, even though it'll be a home game. You got to beat them. I mean, can they beat Denver both times? They ought to beat Oakland both times.
I mean, Chiefs got to just worry about this game against the Giants. They can't let Russell Wilson do what he did against the Cowboys.
Oh, boy.
So, I mean, they got to think one game at a time. And that's what they're probably focusing on. One practice at a time, one meeting at a time, one game at a time. They got to win this next game. They got to they can't worry about where they're at. They got to take it as it comes. It's new territory for them. You got a lot of guys that have had a lot of success and some rings and off-season accolades and obviously and all that. This is a new territory for the Chiefs. And they have the leadership to battle through it, though.
Sorry, the obvious comparison we've heard a lot is, look at the Chiefs reinventing themselves like the Patriots did.
They ain't reinventing nothing yet. Yeah.
Not to the same level, and tougher division. Think about the division that New England ran for the better part of 20 years. I mean, 15 years.
Yeah, it was
Buffalo just finally popped up. The Jets had those 2 years under Rex Ryan, and Miami was just Miami. The Patriots didn't have the same level of challenge in that AFC East that it seems like the AFC West has built toward, and I love that for the NFL. But it makes things a little more difficult for Kansas City to reinvent on the fly multiple times, like New England did.
Yeah, the AFC East, when the New England, this is not taking anything away from New England. It's the AFC East franchise's fault where they beat themselves before they even played. And so New England was just always, hold and serve, home field advantage, really good, go on the road, beat the Chiefs a couple times, win a couple Super Bowls, and then finally here comes Josh Allen, and then they get close. So the Chiefs, they're in a little bit of trouble, but I think, look, you got the dude at quarterback. You got to focus and energize Travis Kelce. I don't think Andy Reid's a great coach, so I think they'll get it going. So anyway, all right, we'll take a break. Okay, 323 area code. We'll get into Michigan. All right, we'll get into Michigan. Talk a little bit about, then we'll just dive into Michigan.
How about it?
It's gonna be tough. I mean,
it's not gonna be easy, but it's on the table.
Yeah.
Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. Back in a sec.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
M Suits Clothiers, Lincoln's favorite men's store. Family owned and operated, located 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. Go bold this summer and fall with endless possibilities. Stop in now for the best selection on sweaters, outerwear, suits, sport coats, dress pants, and dress shirts. M Suits Clothiers, your menswear store.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed with 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Experience an electric vehicle firsthand at LES's EV Ride and Drive, September 28th at the LES Operations Center. Registration is open now, but spots are limited. Visit les.com/drive to reserve your drive.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
It seems like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions with pay starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rolling right along through old school. This segment of the show brought to you as always by the great people at Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Howland, Nebraska. They offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more info at 402-430-3852, or you can visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Austin Orman here at Jay Foreman there. You want to be a part of the show? You can. 402-464-5685. Jay, is it time to dive into Michigan? Are we starting that conversation off?
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it. You said the California area code had something to ask on that, on the text line?
Is it 323?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's like, he didn't want to talk NFL. He wanted to talk about Michigan. I mean, I think, look, they'll be the best team we'll play. I don't think they're the best team in the nation and like we've seen before. Be more than capable, opponent where you're going to have to go out and beat them. I don't know how much of a downgrade or upgrade or downgrade that Sharon Moore's not there. I think, I could see them playing. I could see them thinking like, okay, we'll play worse or, because he's a great offensive line coach, good recruiter. Not sure about him on a head coach yet, but I've seen him do some good things. And, obviously the way they ended the season was probably really good. So I think it's definitely a gettable game, but you got to go beat them. I don't think you're going to, if you think that you're going to roll out there and it's going to be the same speed the last couple of weeks, you're in for a rude awakening. But I think you're going to have to just try to, do a lot of good on good and just practice with the right intensity. And then obviously make sure, you just know your assignments and go out there and let it loose.
You've talked about a bunch of different teams, a bunch of different times about how important it is to get that winning feeling, the confidence that comes from winning. Matt Rule's been careful to caveat. He was again today about, it's the Big Ten. Things are going to get harder. No disrespect to the opponents that we played, but Big Ten's the best league in college football, yada, yada, yada. I think from the fans' perspective, is Nebraska prepared, given that they haven't faced anyone of Michigan's caliber? Without putting words in your mouth, I've heard you say a number of times, the caliber of competition that you're playing matters, but so does winning. For a program at Nebraska that hasn't necessarily had that winning feeling, confidence isn't everything, but it's a big part of it that this program has been lacking in years past, going into a pivotal kind of measuring stick game in years past, like we have coming up on Saturday for Nebraska against Michigan.
Yeah, I think, it's a catch-22. We haven't won a lot around here, and part of it, is like we talked about it early, is eliminating a lot of the self-inflicted wounds and mistakes, and so they've done that. So, you go from 5 to 6 or 7 wins last year, if you count the bowl game, and you're looking for more this year. So the winning feeling and what you need to do is there. And I don't think it's the winning feeling, it's the things that you have to do in order to win. A lot of sacrifice. You got to do a lot of the little things, monotonous, where it can become monotony and stuff like that. But then you got to, accentuate them and make it like you live it. And so that's a hard thing to do in this day and age of individual type of football and their, views on how things should work. But it's the only way you're going to be able to win. And you got to play who's on your schedule. You got to play well. And the only thing Nebraska's been able to do is just obviously beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and that's what you do. And Michigan's 2-1. however you think they looked against Oklahoma, that's probably what you expected to see them. And, as far as their best, which is the second half, you just got to expect that's what you're going to, get from Michigan. And then from there, you got to go out there and beat them. I think you're going to probably face the most resistance as far as across the line, but you got to keep, plugging away. I mean, they're going to make plays. We're going to make plays. We just got to make the plays, when we need to make them, and then obviously take advantage. They'll give you a chance. I mean, it's a freshman quarterback that, a limited passing tree, a lot of it's going to be play action. So you got to do a really good job of what's called pulling him up, is meaning when he gets outside the tackle, you got to have a guy that's going to contain him. You got to make sure that you cover down, and you got to make sure that you wrap up on him when you get a chance to hit him.
Which is hard to do given that he's 6'4", 230, but doable.
It is, but then he's a big target. But what I mean by that is if he scrambles, you got to make him pay. More importantly, he'll throw in the double coverage, so you got to make plays on the ball. So the more plays that you can make, the simple plays you can make, the more pressure it turns on him. And, you want him to press. You want the play caller from Michigan to press. The reason why I like that, if you make him press, is because if you start out, primarily good against the run, make them into a primarily passing team, you can dictate it. You can dial up some pressures.
Well, and the way to do that is you score first. Score in your first couple possessions, make them go 3 and out, or force them to punt at the very least, because this is still, I think, Jay, a Michigan team that's not as comfortable playing from behind unless it gets to Cincinnati territory, where Michigan says, you know what, this Nebraska defense is good, but we think we have the best athlete on the field. Bryce, just go make plays. Enough thinking, enough scripting, just go play football.
Yeah, that's what they kind of did, this last game. But if the game's tight, that's fine. I like that, because that means we're playing good defensively, and we're just going to assume eventually, Dana and them, they'll figure it out. If we start out good defensively, or when we start out good defensively, and then we're playing good against the run, and they just can't, because their defense is predicated on them being able to run the ball. So that means they can dictate the pace. Once you can't dictate the pace, the score does matter. Of course, if we're up 17-0, that's obviously known. But the pressure starts to mount on that sideline because it's not looking like they want to play. So if Nebraska's able to, not only stand up against the run, make some plays like some tackle for losses or like some short yard, gains, and get some, I'd like to see the defense take it upon themselves this week to do what's called, like, we used to have this knockback tackles, right? Where it's like, say I make the initial hit, you got a guy that's going to kind of try to come and punch the ball out. Well, then everybody else just bum rushes him, and then you knock them back. That is a mental advantage that you put in their head, that we are physically dominating you, after contact. So if you start to do those things, this starts to wear on that team, and then it starts to wear on Bryce Underwood, because those routes and stuff like that aren't as crisp, because a lot of them are coming off of play action. So when it's coming off of play action, you're really dictating free releases off of the line for the receivers, because they're coming off and acting like they're going to block the safety or block the corner, then they're in the route. Well, when it's 3rd and 10, 12 or whatever, and especially if we get them behind the chains,
cool play action. Don't care.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's fine. Go right ahead.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Do you expect that Michigan will do anything except line up, try to run the ball right at Nebraska until Nebraska proves they can stop it?
I think they'll do. I think they'll try to do a fair amount of quarterback run game. I think they'll try to do a little.
But either way, it's power straight ahead, right? Nothing cute, nothing frilly. It's
you might see man. You might see them test their edges a little bit. They might go some jet sweeps and stuff like that. They'll do some. The first series or two, it depends on if they get the ball or not, right? If they receive the ball, they're going to go right on script. They don't, depending on what Nebraska does. They'll either continue along that script, or they'll say, okay, let's see if we can pop a big run and take the crowd out of it. See, what you want to do is on the road is you want to take the crowd out of it by either systematically getting first downs, or you get a big run, right? So you break a couple tackles, spin out of it, boom, first down. Their sidelines that, then you're like already on your heels. And even if you get 3 points, like, man,
we just got punched.
We punched back, right? I think they're going to try to make the throws easy for them. So you could think like Nebraska's in zone or man, expect some easy, some hitches or something like that, some slants, some timing routes, and, something to slow the defensive line down, kind of keep you guessing a little bit. But then I think eventually if they get a couple first down, they're going to line up and, there's not as much, 22 personnel. Now they run 21 personnel with 44. I view him more as an H-back, so somewhat of a tight end. He's kind of like their fullback, and he's a physical guy. He's a little rocked up little dude. Not a little dude. He's
rocked up big dude.
Yeah, he's a short little fighter, but so he kind of sets the physical edge. I think he's a captain. So that's where you'll get 21 personnel with 12 concepts, because he can catch it in the flat and stuff like that.
Juice check-ish?
Yeah, but not as fleet as foot. And then Klein's right along with everybody else, tight end. He's a safety net, so we'll see what they do. But Nebraska has got to handle their business first.
That's absolutely what it comes down to, and that's where I would be surprised if Michigan does really anything aside from, hey, Nebraska, stop this. They remember what happened the last time they came here. They don't care that it's not the same names on the back of the jersey. They ran over, around, and through Nebraska for 58 minutes till Josh Fleeks got Nebraska on the scoreboard with the long touchdown run. Nebraska's better than they were in 23. Michigan's not as good as they were in 23.
Yeah.
But Michigan, Jay, I still think walks around with that. We know who we are. We know what we do well. And especially against a team like Nebraska, who's shown a little bit of that weakness. I'm not saying Nebraska can't stop the run, saying Michigan's going to walk in there forcing Nebraska to stop the run.
Well, they're going to, look, every team is going to want to run the ball and test you.
Houston Christian didn't really. Akron didn't really.
They ain't even.
Maryland, meh, we'll see.
Yeah, yes, but these type of games,
I guess
blue bloods are going to line up and try to punch you in the face.
Exactly, which is, I guess, Michigan is a mature enough program to not get distracted by, oh, hey, look what Bryce did last week.
They're gonna try to see whatever concepts that they can exploit. That's the same thing Nebraska is going to do. But really, it's going to come down to, I think Nebraska has the personnel to do well against their run game, because I think they're able to kind of, get on the move, but then also have different body types that can get in the backfield and make some plays. I think they're, athletic enough to really, do some stuff, not let them do some damage. And so they just got to tackle well. And then, get Michigan. Michigan's going to get some false starts and all that. So when you get them in 3rd and 6, 7 plus, we got to get off the field. We got to get off the field. And when we do that, we get more chances at that defense. I like our chances.
Well, let's go ahead and take a break here. Talk a little Bud Crawford to wrap up the hour, and then right back to Michigan at 5. He's Jay. I'm Austin. It's Old School on the Ticket.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. and they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies and light winds. It'll be warm with an afternoon high near 89. Tonight, mostly clear skies and calm winds, low near 66. Tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies and light winds. It'll be hot with a high around 90. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're wrapping up hour 2 of Old School. Austin and Jay with you. This segment brought to you by Love Volleyball Nebraska. Recently rebranded over the summer from Love Volleyball Omaha to Love Volleyball Nebraska. Go to lovb.com today to get your season tickets. Get them for the first time. Renew them. Your chance to see Olympic champions, national champions, and, of course, plenty of former Huskers in action, all for Love Volleyball Nebraska. Speaking of Love and Nebraska, Jay, a lot of representation from Bud Crawford for his home state, and, of course, his home city of Omaha. Your takeaways from Bud Crawford moving up 2 weight classes, taking down Saul Canelo Alvarez on what that have been Saturday.
I mean, he just did what he usually does. Goes in there and handles business, dissects his opponent, and keeps exceeding the outside expectations. But I think Bud was very confident going into this fight. Probably he took a third less of the money. I mean, rightfully so. Canelo's been a household name for a little bit longer and kind of been associated with, was it Danzin or whatever that and then so you got to do that sometimes when you want to have a legacy fight and so forth and so on. Now Bud's going to be in the power position, I think, towards the end if he continues to fight. I think I never really thought. I would say this. I never had a doubt Bud would win. There's only 2 ways I thought Canelo would win. One, they would cheat Bud, like a decision, and you line up 100 people, and they're like, "Oh, Bud was the winner," and then the 3 guys that were judging were like, "Oh, Canelo won by a long shot," and that's happened before.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it would happen because there's not a rematch clause. So I think you're going to get fair and square, right? And I don't think guys look forward to rematches clause anymore because they don't. I think Floyd Mayweather has shown guys the business side to kind of go and plot and just do your stuff and kind of build your resume and then go. And then Bud's old school. He'll fight anybody. I mean,
anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, he could probably fight today if he had to, and still win. And I think the only other way that Canelo could have won is if, and I think I mentioned this when we were on old school, is if it was a lot of clinching and he was significantly better than Bud in the phone booth. That's it. And that's a hard thing to do because Bud's savvy. And he's got long enough arms where you're just not going to be able to overpower him. And so I don't think the size was ever a problem. I never envisioned it because Bud's probably grew up fighting bigger dudes, so that's not going to do anything. And Bud's strong too.
Wiry strong.
Yeah,
but actually strong.
But strong. And I think Bud's a better athlete than Canelo. Like overall, better athlete. If you just went and took him through the NFL Combine, Bud would just wipe the floor with him athletically. That paid dividends because he's significantly quicker. Even though Bud's older, Canelo in his last 2 fights look significantly slower.
Even though he won, got away with it.
Even though he won, but he never was quick.
Right.
So he never could say, there was a time and kind of almost like towards the end of Pacquiao's prime where one fight he looked a little sluggish, went back to the lab, and then he started blowing through guys for last, like this last little run. Canelo never got that. Now maybe it's because he was playing, fighting lesser opponents, but Bud just went in there and I think he surprised Canelo of his strength. Canelo had no game plan of how to counteract. Bud can fight both hands or both ways. He can go conventional.
Listed southpaw, but he can do whatever.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants. And the thing about Bud that people don't understand, he can switch in the middle of a round. And sometimes he does it on purpose. And then also I think he has that, I guess, the it factor, unique ability to, I think it was whatever fight it was, Bo Mack, when they had him mic'd up, he's like, look, I guess he must have talked to a couple of judges. He's like, hey, they got it close. Oh, Bud was like, oh, okay. I'll just go to mid. I'll be right back. And then 2 rounds just obliterated the guy. I think he had that in. And I think Canelo, what's crazy is Bud is older than Canelo, right? But Canelo looked like way older than Bud. And to be honest with you, where Bud's at right now, Floyd's the best of his era, pound for pound,
Pacquiao can't be far behind, though.
Can't be far behind. And you don't have to be undefeated to be pound for pound the best. You don't. I don't think you do. You got Andre Ward that retired, undefeated. He was but I think right now in Bud's era, he's the best pound for pound. He's the best fighter out there, period. There's not even a question. Now, if you want to start comparing all that, that's just like the Jordan and LeBron stuff. But where he's at right now, what's funny is that I always like boxing. I look at boxing for different reasons as far as like how guys prepare. Like Lennox Lewis, never really up until Hakeem Rahman, who represented Baltimore, by the way, beat him, never reached his potential. But that's what sparked him, right? Then Emmanuel became his, trainer, and they really started to test him. But how he mentally started to get to that place, right? Then he became very dominant. Klitschko got a little bit after him, but I would think if they rematched, I like Lennox Lewis. The funny thing about it is that when you look at boxing, that fight was bigger than just Bud and Canelo.
Yeah,
it's the two American, Mexican, like they're the two most dominant, countries or whatever you want to call them in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had the emergence of like the Eastern European, where they come out,
your Von Drago types,
right? Just stoic, very businesslike, right? And then you had some of, you had some Japanese fighters that done some real, good things, so forth and so on. And that's kind of that was like the new flair, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just American and Mexican fighters over the history of boxing. American fighters have the most world titles. Obviously, Mexican fighters or Latin descendant fighters are second. But you saw the two clash of the Titans, and then obviously Bud was able to do his thing.
And I think to your point from before as well, we did see a little bit of that scorebook cooking. Casual people had a bigger advantage for Bud than the judges did. What? Two of them had it 116, 112, and one had it 115, 113.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily pass the eye test. But either way, Nebraska's own Bud Crawford does indeed end up the champion, taking down Canelo Alvarez. First man since the four-belt era started in 2007 to become an undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes: junior welterweight, and super middleweight. Come over to the stream with us. That's where we're headed. We got Texans and Bucks coming up on the airwaves over the radio. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman will be back on stream.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through September 16th are $1 off ready-to-eat meals, 20% off all pasta, and 8-ounce grass-fed, grass-finished sirloins for $9 each. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Amigos is celebrating 45 years with exclusive Nebraska Legends collectible cups featuring Tom Osborne, John Cook, and some of your favorite Huskers. For every cup sold, 50 cents goes to teammates. Show your big red pride by getting all 4 of these collectible cups at Amigos.
This is Tom Osborne with the Teammates Mentoring Program. We have students on the waiting list for a mentor, and we want you to join the team. Learn more about mentoring and support teammates by visiting Amigos.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Third hour, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, the new school way. Right before we got an hour before live on the ticket. You know who's playing? My Texans against my man Baker Mayfield.
Does he still owe you?
He does, man. He got paid twice ever since both times we met. Yeah. He might be up for a re-up, so I got to holler at him. His wife is from like Waverly or something. Anyways, we were brought to you by the Mercado, certified PMIT, special ingredients at Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th Yankee Hill, 85th and Andrew / Old Cheney, 168th and Maple up there in the O. Another beautiful day, beautiful week as we got Michigan on the radar. A lot to look forward to. Obviously, a great weekend that could be the precursor to an even better weekend when Nebraska beats Michigan. I mean, it's it's a good look, man. It's for what. So how many years ago was it that we were in Ireland? Is that 4?
2021.
It was 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, you got to think we.
Or 22. It was 22.
22.
Yeah.
Well, 4 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 4 seasons ago, we were just slithered past. No, we just got the brakes beat off by Georgia Southern, right?
Yeah, so it was the loss to Northwestern, the tight one against North Dakota, and then Georgia Southern.
Yeah, so and then Big Ten play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to think, 4 years ago, we were in a different place. All problems aren't solved, and obviously there's a lot of work to do, but it's a good position to be in. And you got a game opponent that, technically ranked, and like I said, I don't think there's a big difference from number 21 in the nation to, let's just say 44 or wherever Nebraska's at, or even, farther than that. Now, granted, there is a little bit of separation, but I think, as much as there's an unranked team, Nebraska facing, was it 23 Michigan or, 23 Michigan is no different than, an unranked South Florida against a Boise or Florida, or, you know what I'm saying? And so you can, anybody can beat anybody any day and time or any game, anywhere, any place. And I don't think it's a far stretch off that Nebraska, can beat Michigan.
It's just so funny figuring out how to discuss this game in the right terms, because you can't make it bigger than it is, but you can't make it smaller than it is either, because it's incredibly correct to say that this is not the same Michigan team in terms of pedigree, in terms of talent across the board that Nebraska faced in 2023. Team that put like a dozen dudes in the NFL draft, right? That's not who Nebraska's facing. But Michigan's also not some pushovers. No, they didn't live up to, their championship pedigree last year necessarily. You can't base everything you think about them off of their win over Ohio State and Alabama. You got to treat them like who they are. You can't build them up to be, oh, Michigan comes to town, they're so good, they're just going to run at Nebraska. Nebraska has so little chance of stopping them, it's going to take a miracle. It's not going to take a miracle. It's going to take good football.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of it, I think fans have done a better job of going this way, not getting carried away by 68-0 and 59-7. Oh, Nebraska's fixed. Nebraska's back. Watch out, Michigan. Nebraska's here and they're here to stay. Bo Pelini quote sort of deal. One of my buddies just texted me and said this feels a lot like Colorado last year. In some ways, but I'll say this: in terms of the vibe, it needs to be. In terms of if you have a national championship team back, you want to put on a good show, a good football to make your fellas proud when you walk out there. Whatever. Absolutely. The vibe has to be off the charts like it was for Colorado last year. Problem is, I don't think that reflects in the style of play. Who's Colorado's best players last year? It was Travis Hunter. It was Shedeur. They were always going to come out and throw the ball around. Nebraska is going to have a much harder time playing from in front like it did against Colorado last year. It's a different beast.
It's different, but it's the same because...
Can you make it look the same? That's the challenge.
Yeah, but I don't think it has to as long as you win. And that's the only thing that we need to look the same.
Is win. Yes.
It's the same in this sense. I think we played Colorado at the best time to play Colorado last year. I did. I think they were playing really good after that and late in the season.
Still won, 9 games by the end of the year?
Obviously. Then I think with Michigan, we're playing them at the right time. Number one, we're playing them at home. Right? Number two, they have a freshman quarterback. No matter, he's going to be good and he's talented, but he's still a freshman. It's no different than if Dylan, I guess let me see who would be the equivalent of us, and we weren't never in that position, but to say we go to say last year, team that was on the Indiana. Okay, they got Dylan's a freshman quarterback.
I think Ohio State.
Well, no, but Ohio State's established. Indiana was on the come up, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Right. They played us at the perfect time, right? Nebraska probably would like to have that game back. The timing of the game is good. Michigan's kind of choice of when Sharon Moore, Coach Moore decided to sit out is their choice, but it works out well for Nebraska. So I think it worked, and then I think it's Michigan that's not the same offense, so which is bodes well for Nebraska. Whereas the way that they run their offense, personnel wise, defensively, Nebraska matches up well. The way Nebraska's offense is like built or whatever, kind of like what they've done or what they could do, works out good against Michigan's defense. Dylan's a year older. I think you have I think Dane Key is an upgrade from Jamal Banks. I think Hunter's a upgrade from Nair. I think Barney year number 2 is upgrade from Barney year number 1. And I think, you have Emmett that's a perfect fit for this offense for what, they need him to do, right? All three things. You got to run it, block it, catch it. In the offensive line, I think, they're probably as good or better. And so this is a game you got to go out there and win. I think it's two teams when you just look at it, eye to eye, 21 ranked Michigan, Nebraska's not ranked. There's no difference. You're going to roll the ball out there and you got to go get it.
How much more confidence do you have in Nebraska finding a way to pull out a win if this is a one-score game headed into the fourth quarter? After what you've seen, to end last year and to start this year for Nebraska, because I think 2 years ago, if you would have told folks that Nebraska's in a one-score game against Michigan late, great. How does it end? Now we think Husker fans would take their chances with a one-score game against Michigan. I still trust Michigan a little bit more in that standpoint, but Nebraska's won a couple straight, one-possession games. Just because, Jay, we haven't seen Nebraska's offense deliver at a level against a defense like Michigan's. Maybe the defense holds up. I'm willing to believe that. I've been impressed with the defense as a whole so far this year.
Yeah.
To me, this is a game that, not saying it's the only way Nebraska can win it, but the best way from my vantage point that seems like it would give Nebraska the best chance to win is the offense comes out clicking early. Is that the offense puts up 14 points in the first quarter, tack another 7 or 10 on, which is going to be difficult to do, right? Michigan still has athletes all over the place on defense. But, Nebraska's defense has helped it hang in there against Iowa, whose offense is probably worse than this Michigan team's. Certainly not as dynamic and certainly more predictable, I would guess. But I guess I think it's about time for Nebraska's offense to do what it did against Colorado last year against a team like Michigan. I'm not banking on that happening. And then when it gets down to, late game situations, do you trust Nebraska's defense to get a stop in the 4-minute drill when all Michigan needs is a field goal? Do you trust Nebraska to drive down, say that they're down by 3, in 4-minute drill against a team like Michigan? I'm not saying Nebraska can't do it. I'm saying this would be a great time for Nebraska to prove it can do it.
Yeah, if it comes down, I think the circumstances for me on paper, when I'm looking at it right now, the circumstances for me, everything is in Nebraska's favor. The reason why I think they can win the game in the 2-minute drill, they got a freshman quarterback. Our quarterback's in their second year. Biff, their head coach, Biff Poggi, is it Poggi or Poggi? A really good coach, but he's just essentially, jettisoned into head coaching. Now he's been there before. Now
he was an assistant under Harbaugh, went to Charlotte, didn't go quite his way, and then came back as well.
And I watched. Obviously, had a child that goes there. Is that I went and watched. It wasn't for a lack of effort. It was a lack of support at Charlotte and what he wanted to do, and college landscape changed, right? And it wasn't, and they're reeling in all their sports programs there, so it wasn't just him. So he's a capable coach, but I'd probably say I'd give Nebraska on paper. You give Nebraska the edge, coaching, right? He's just getting there, right? You got to think. It's not like he He's like, all right, we know he's going to be gone, and you're going to go 4 games, and then he'll be back. Sherrone Moore will be back. Sherrone Moore coached 2 games. Now Biff's coaching 2 games, so that gives Nebraska more an advantage. I think Nebraska can throw the ball on paper more consistently than Michigan, based on I'm going personnel to personnel. So that's where now I think Michigan's defense is obviously way step up from Colorado. So I think it's as much as it's advantage Nebraska, there's ways that Michigan can win. I don't think Nebraska has to go out there and play anybody by means of a perfect game. It's going to come down to who plays football the best, and it's going to really see who's more invested in this game. Michigan is here's also a secret, not a secret, but like a little caveat. I would have rather Michigan beat Oklahoma and come in here versus lost to Oklahoma and come in here.
You even said that day.
Yeah, the psychology behind it is I want them to come in here fat and happy and lazy. Oh, we can get that game up. We'll get our coach back.
We're good. We got this.
Yeah,
we don't need coach.
They're desperate now. Right? You're going to get their best. In the way that Oklahoma game was called versus that Central Michigan game was called are 2 different things.
Yeah.
So what do you prepare for? So it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be a chess match, but really all the funny stuff is great, right? You'll get it. You'll get a, Michigan will come out with a set or 2 or something specifically for Nebraska. You just got to assume Nebraska's going to do the same. But when all that's done, we got knuckle up.
It's that knuckling up that also gives me a little bit of pause. You think Nebraska is going to hit explosives against Michigan? Maybe. But I wouldn't count on it.
I think your idea of explosive has to change, though.
I'm not saying Nebraska has to score from 60,
right.
But I'm saying that might be Nebraska's best chance in the red zone, unless they really clean it up and really work on stuff. Maybe Nebraska can move the ball against Michigan. I'm willing to believe that.
You're talking about they need a house call. You don't think they'll score in the red zone?
I'm saying I don't know if I trust this defense enough, given what I think Michigan's going to do, to think that field goals will win the game. I think Nebraska needs to be better in the red zone, and if it's not going to be better in the red zone, you got to score from 25 or 30 yards out. That to me, I don't love Nebraska's chances in the red zone against Michigan. I don't, plain and simple. And if it comes down to a 23 to 20, 24-21 game, I tend to like Michigan's chances a little bit more. If it's 31-27, if it's 34-31, I like Nebraska's chances. And again, I'm not saying Nebraska can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm saying, given what we've seen from Nebraska so far, where they've struggled in the red zone, maybe they can move it between the 20s. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But settling for field goals against Michigan, I'm not sure that's necessarily going to turn out the way Nebraska wants it to, unless the defense has taken another step forward, takes the week personally, and plays really well.
Yeah, I don't think I think Nebraska is built to win, score over 30. I don't think Michigan is built to score over 30.
I agree.
So really what you're saying is if Michigan gets to play the way they want, of course the advantage goes to them, so forth and so on. Now I'll go to like boxing terms. Whoever can fight better at the other person's style will win the game.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And so, I don't know what the coaching staff deems as an explosive run. I just know when I played,
generally it's 10 plus.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So when I played, I had the same thing, 10 plus. It was like 10 and a half. Vic Fangio was always, he had to do the half.
Vic.
Or 11 and a half or 12.
That's so subjective, right? Man.
So,
it's based on spot.
So 10 plus is an explosive run. 20 plus is an explosive pass. I think if you can have a high number of 6.5 to 8, or not a high number, but a good number of 6.5, 8 runs. Oh yeah, we're running the ball. I think that's what you need, right? Because if you get those 6.5 to 8 yard runs against this Michigan team, then you put them in instant zone defense, or you can predict them against man. So then that's where you think that you like your matchup with Emmett, you like your matchup with Barney and all that. So then you can dictate that zone. Then you're thinking the outside guys,
you're
right?
Key, you're thinking Hunter.
Right. So you get to be able to predict and dictate what's going to be down the pipe. So it's I think that and then explosive plays. I think you'll get some explosive passes against their zone. They don't really run a lot of zone, and when they do run zone, they don't do it. I don't think they're not very. I mean, I wouldn't say not very good. I don't think they're executing the zone very, very.
It's not
good.
their strength right now.
But I think the reason why they didn't execute the zone very well, if you go back to the Michigan game, can't learn much off of Central Michigan, but Michigan game,
Oklahoma game,
is that Mateer was able, the called quarterback run game, in the success of the quarterback run game off of the pass game, really had them on the heels. We don't really, major in that. So what we have to do is major in execution, and then obviously timely playing.
Can I jump off on that real quick? That's where Nebraska has struggled against teams like this before. Really, the exception to that is Casey Thompson to Trey Palmer against Iowa.
Yeah.
Hit the big one early on, get the 30 or 40 yarder, I think, later on for Nebraska's couple touchdowns of the day. And Nebraska shouldn't need Adrian Martinez to go Superman against Michigan to stay in it. It's been a long time since Nebraska has had that surgeon from the pocket that's just been able to dice up a top defense. This isn't a top 5 Michigan defense. Still probably top 25.
Yeah,
they're good enough to give Nebraska problems. Is the point? But Nebraska has talent to give Michigan's defense problems as well. I want to see Nebraska be able to, simple word Matt Rule said that he hates when coaches use it. Just execute. Just do what you do well against a top defense to where you're not relying on, you shouldn't need quarterback run to beat Michigan. If you're good enough at what you want to be good at, it shouldn't take Adrian Martinez Superman scrambles. It shouldn't take design quarterback runs like Oklahoma did. You can be Nebraska and have success against Michigan if you've taken that step forward, right? I don't want Nebraska to rely on Superman plays against a team like this.
Well, I mean, Adrian was like, it was one against whatever, and that was against a pretty good, dang good Michigan defense. So it was a Herculean effort on his part. But I mean, I think whether you want to call it execution or just stay on rhythm, I like it. I think you got to play pitch and catch. I think you got to do the small things. I think this is an investment game. You got to be invested, both more than physically. Mentally and spiritually into this pure game of football. This is it. This is a game that one you come to Nebraska to play, right? These are the games that you play for. Like this is not a game. This is not playtime.
No.
Okay, so like if I had to talk to you to play, if you think you're going to show up and play, this is not a game to play games. This is not. I mean, And I guess you could say I'm a bearer of the bad news. I'm a bearer of bad news. I'm just telling you the truth. This is not a game that you want to show up with any type of. This is not a game to be. This is not a good mood game. You got to show up with bad intentions.
Wake up pissed off, as Trey Palmer would say.
Yeah, and Trey was able to take advantage of when I think Riley Moss got hurt and took away the third corner. But I think is when you got to come and shoot your shot. But then also you got to be able to slug it out too. And I think also, to your previous point, I think also where Nebraska can play tighter or play with Michigan when the game's tighter. Because I think the pressure falls on them. Just because they have a freshman quarterback. They are not a well-oiled machine offensively yet. It's too early. And that's what I said. We're playing them at the right time. I will say on the flip side, Ohio State played Michigan at the wrong time. A team that was desperate, that really executed their game plan to perfection, but a lot of those players are gone. So you know what I'm saying? So we're playing them at the right time. We're playing them at home. I'm sure Bud will be there, and then you got the 95 team there. But ultimately, the crowd will be in the game when you start making plays, and then if you continue to make plays, then that will be a factor. That will also help you play better against the run because they won't be able to get off on the ball is quick.
Yeah.
Which then will make him play more passive, the quarterback, which then will go to the sideline. Well, then we'll go to the bench as the defense. So then that's how, one thing leads to another.
I just want to see Nebraska force a freshman quarterback to look like a freshman quarterback. I just have too much trust in talent, culture, whatever it is you want to call it, to think that despite Michigan, maybe not being a well-oiled machine, that they'll come in and beat themselves. Maybe they will, but I want to see Nebraska make a freshman quarterback look like a freshman quarterback and not just assume, oh, he's a freshman quarterback, he's going to be rattled. You got to rattle him.
Yeah, you got to do it, but I think the one thing, he's not an ordinary freshman quarterback. All right, so this dude is, we just like Dylan's not, or he's not, he's a competitor. So this isn't like the dude you just got out of like class D1 that just accidentally playing. I think the best way to make him look like a freshman quarterback is take advantage of every single freshman mistake he makes when he throws into double coverage or he underthrows a ball or whatever it is, or holds the ball too long and you can break on the ball and break up a crucial third down. You do it.
You have to. Don't give him breathing room.
Right. Because the other players around him are probably going to take it upon themselves to make his job easier. So when he makes his job harder, then you take advantage of it.
Here's the NFL example of that. J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the Falcons did a really good job, but you know how they were able to do that?
They got home like 60% of the time with their pass rush.
Right, but how they did it is how they played offensively. Against what was Minnesota known for before that game?
It's the
defense, right? Brian Flores. Here's the defense. They'll keep them around, and all that you heard it. Chris Collins,
exotic looks, can't figure it out.
Have guys confused and all that. Well, Raheem Morris said we're going to line up. We're going to run the football. Okay, it's however you want it. You want Robinson or Algier? You're going to get both. So whatever you choose your poison, and both of them got busy. Well, what that does, Austin, it takes that life out of you offensively, and then it makes you press, right? But then the defense, Atlanta, fed off of that. Why? They did a decent enough job against Minnesota, not in a close game, right? The game was close, and then Atlanta had to,
just blood it out of
them, right? But they had control of the game. Even when Minnesota got a couple field goals, 9-6, wasn't close. But what they were able to do is
pretty nasty move from Jefferson, though.
It was.
But
it was cold.
To your point.
But it was all for nothing, and they kept playing. They stuck to the game plan.
Yeah.
It allowed Atlanta to get energy and gain the momentum defensively. So when Minnesota tried to, I guess, open up the offense, right? You got to think also, their starting center, Ryan Kelly, got hurt right away.
Concussed.
I think their starting tackle got hurt and the backup got hurt. Well, then you can't run the ball. Now you got to try to pass the ball
with a rookie quarterback.
That really got hot for a quarter. It was Ollie Oxen free back there, and it worked, paid dividends. So anyway, we'll take a quick break, come back. We'll talk special teams because I think that's going to be a big advantage, or hopefully a big advantage for Nebraska going up against a Michigan team that's known for special teams, especially in the kicking game. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, we'll be right back.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rollouts has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rollouts will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rollouts make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Rolloffs, cleanup made simple.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Bring new life to metal treasures with Kaiser Blasting and Coatings. From railings and fences to outdoor furniture and unique antiques, their expert team removes years of rust and weathering, then finishes each piece with a lasting powder coat. Trusted by industries across the region, now local homeowners and businesses can experience the same professional care. Visit KaiserBlasting.com or call 402-421-3559 to request your quote. Restore, protect, and make your metal shine like never before with the help of Kaiser Blasting and Coatings.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Michigan Week. All things, everything besides khaki. Khakis, Mr. Khakis. Now we got Mr. Sleeve. He is going to wear sleeves, though.
Boo.
You know how much, hey. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what Nebraska does and how they can gain an advantage, possibly special teams, right? And that's whether it's in the kicking game or a return game. Michigan has, you know, obviously put a lot of kickers in the league, been pretty solid. When you look at the stats, they're probably decent in the return game, nothing like special, but they feel like they can out-athlete you. And you need every advantage that you can get, you know, when you play against a team like Michigan. And that's where Nebraska, you know, obviously bringing in a special teams coach that comes in with a lot of, you know, I guess I wouldn't say fanfare, but I'm going to look at it more like credibility and Coach Eckler. These are the games that you want to, you know, really make some hay. And so their field goal kicker's okay. You know, he's 4-6 and he missed a mid-range one and a long one, so you could say, okay, we're right on point, with our kicking game. But
having a better season than Jake Moody so far.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
I know it's, anyways. But Kyle Shanahan has a history of like not liking kickers.
It's kind of funny.
Graham Gano is one that he pretty much, I wouldn't say talked his dad into cutting, but told his dad strongly after he missed 2 kicks and back-to-back weeks to cut him.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up going to be a 2-time All-Pro for the Panthers and a long career after that. So, Michigan punt return game hasn't been very good. Kickoff returns to over 20 yards, kickoff return. Now,
that Marsh guy scored a touchdown against, I think it was Central Michigan last week. He's got the goods.
Yeah.
He's got some juice to him.
And they haven't had a lot of opportunity. Now,
right.
When you beat a team 63-3, you're not getting a lot of opportunities. So it'll be interesting for Nebraska to try to find an advantage, right? Whether it's in the punt game, their punter is okay, or their punt team has been okay, or in the, kickoff or punt return yards, or vice versa when you're covering kicks, because that's going to, if you can flip the field on Michigan, again, with them being on the road, 2:30 primetime game, all the hoopla around it, backed up all the time. I think that you talk about being able to be explosive in the red zone. I think that's where you can touchdown or field goal, touchdown, field goal, and then another touchdown, and really, really put the pressure on. You don't have to, like, you can really blow Michigan out by essentially the field position game. And the reason why I say that, Austin, is if you're just kicking, if you're just kind of going back and forth and not flipping the field, then that's where you're 100% right. Nebraska has to be explosive.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're constantly gaining the hitting yards against Michigan, 8 yards here, 10 yards the next, 4, you're inching them back towards being backed up. That means you're inching towards getting the ball at or close to the 50. Then it's either take a shot, couple first downs, go for it on 4th, really bleeding the clock. That's where you can really beat them in an ugly game.
Have you liked Dana Holgerson's play calling in terms of when he's asked Nebraska to take the shots so
far? Yeah. I mean, the first game you can't, like, they're playing that deep zone, so you could just sit back and chuck and duck. I mean, I said it from the get-go when Cincinnati just came out and threw it deep, they just threw it like it was pat and go. They weren't even trying to. I mean, that was just a waste of play. So, then you can't really judge off the second and third game, is because.
But you can judge the process.
I mean, I like the process.
That's kind of what I'm talking
I like the
about.
process, yeah. But it's just that you think you're going to hit it, run past Michigan, defenders all the time. No, but I've always liked even back to last year, I felt like the rhythm, they kind of it pieced together. You could see, you know what I mean? So I think in that case, the continuity is there. So I think, he'll be able to call a good enough game.
I have been attempting to make that one of my focuses up there in the press box for the first couple weeks here. And it's been somewhat predictable when Nick and I have had these conversations when it feels like Dana's going to take a shot. Okay, you're in plus territory, or you're just on the doorstep. Maybe the opponent's 45, forward, and you get the matchup you like. When Nebraska has gotten to, the opponent's 45, even their own 45, and gone, if they get a one-on-one matchup with their receivers, they're taking it. They've done a pretty good job of doing that consistently. Sometimes it's the play call, sometimes it's not. But I think that goes to what Matt Rule's been saying about Dylan Raiola and his faith in a guy like Dana Holgerson calling the plays offensively, is that whether or not Nebraska is actually connected on the play is one thing. But I do think Nebraska has recognized those opportunities of, hey, they're playing single high. He's rolled over this way a little bit. We have a one-on-one with Key or Hunter to this side. Or we can manipulate the defense, get the guy shifted over that way, and then get this other guy isolated one-on-one. No, they haven't hit 100% of the time. It's been a little bit predictable. I mean, if Nick and I are saying, oh, yeah, it feels like this is the time for it, Michigan's going to be onto it, Connor Stallions or no. But it just feels like Nebraska should have the guys that even if Michigan says, okay, they're probably taking a shot here, Do we want to take away Key? Do we want to take away Hunter and make Nebraska go the other way? That Nebraska has the guys to still be able to take that shot play, even if it's, flipped from what they wanted.
Yeah, they
and
can
I
play
like
a little
the
bit more.
process.
Yeah, they can play a little bit more off schedule than versus last year. Again, you should be able to. Another year of Dylan. Dylan is this scheme is with Dylan. He's with Dana. You feel like you upgraded everywhere else as far as like player for player. Dane Key is, at Kentucky, he's did a really good job of winning 50-50 balls. And so you like your chances there where, okay, you guys want to go man and you want to make sure that we, try to, not allow any deep passes, but you want to blitz and go man to man. Then you have the safety net to throw to Dane Key. But also I think Hunter has done a good job of winning 50-50 balls as well. So they're more equipped to do so. I think they've been predictable by probably choice, but then also by the defense's, predictability as well. So you got to just do what you got to do. Dana's been around this business a long time, so he'll scheme up stuff that and get the he's seen everything you need to see. Now they got to go execute, and it's going to come down to you got to play to win this game. I think I can't emphasize that enough. I think it's we got a good text in here from Ryan. He says offensively we should be able to move defensively. He's worried about this undersized defensive line and our short yardage pass game. And then, and he's from Valley Springs, California. So, I think, the undersized defensive line, you got to play good. You got to play with good leverage. You got to be invested. I think if you bring the fight to them, I think Michigan's offensive line isn't like the same one when they won a national championship in years past, but that doesn't mean that the Joe Moore award, had been in Michigan for it seemed like every year for the last 4 or 5 years. Every year they'd be there, right? And
except for the random year it went up to Washington for some reason.
Washington, when they went to the national championship. Then it had been in Iowa before. What I'm saying is the much like the pipeline when before I got here, and then obviously during when I was here was a tradition or what you've been known for. And there was guys that even like the second coming of the pipeline where we didn't have any illegal procedure penalties, and the year in 95 they were replacing the original pipeline, so you didn't know them yet. So you got to expect those guys to play with the same tradition and everything like that, so they have a standard that they're going to come and play to. So our defensive line's got to reset that standard. So I think this game, when I mean invested in this game, everybody, this is the whole motivation versus discipline. Coming out of there's going to be nothing like coming out of the tunnel for these guys. National TV game, prime time against Michigan. Everything. This is the first game. A lot's on the line. Both in the state and outside of the state, perception wise, so forth and so on. But after about the first or second series, that's where that discipline's got to come in. I mean, obviously you got to have it every series, but that you
can fake it for a couple possessions.
Well, you just got to then you got to lock in. They're going to settle down. We got to settle down, and then you got to go play, and then okay.
Can you settle down and turn up at the same time?
Yeah, and then you got to do it the rest of the game. There used to be an old saying back in the day. We'll go to break after this. You train for 5 quarters, knowing that you're going to knock them out in 4. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
I'm trained for 5.
Yeah.
The 4 is easy. You want to go 5, then we right into deep water. Then that's where we're going to go. So they handle that. They'll be all right. So anyway, we'll take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, set the table for the rest of the week. We got Whiteboard Wednesday. Probably have to expand that. Pick a couple run plays in defensive sets and a couple players. We will focus on my man Ernest Hausman because my man has got some savage in him. I like the first game of the year. He walked the lineman back too.
Woo!
Yeah, walked him back.
All right, Ernie.
Yeah, he checked him. Now he's the enforcer. So Columbus's finest. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Amigos is celebrating 45 years with exclusive Nebraska Legends collectible cups featuring Tom Osborne, John Cook, and some of your favorite Huskers. For every cup sold, 50 cents goes to teammates. Show your Big Red pride by getting all 4 of these collectible cups at Amigos.
This is Tom Osborne with the Teammates Mentoring Program. We have students on the waiting list for a mentor, and we want you to join the team. Learn more about mentoring and support teammates by visiting Amigos.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to SmokingGunJerky.com and enter code early for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. Quick segment here. Put a bow on this Monday, Michigan Monday. Matt Rule had a press conference. We should have gotten into some of that, but I mean,
we got tomorrow.
Yeah, he was just talking about being down in Vegas and obviously Michigan game. I think it'd be more importantly. I think he talks again Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll be able to dive into what he says Thursday and also get some libations to get this party started.
Woo.
That's most important because you really now it's kind of all fluff, but I think the most important thing he just feels confident where he's at. He knows that you got to prepare for these games, what you live for. Probably what he comes to coach Nebraska for is to play in games like this or coaching games like this. I think he feels like probably more prepared, more confident to play any blue blood team or any I think this year he would probably feel better playing at Indiana than he did last year, right? And it's not that he wasn't feeling prepared or prepared. I think he knows the Big Ten better. I think he knows his team better. I think you got year 2 of Dylan, so the standards different, expectations are higher, and I feel like the roster's better. So I think for him, I always say when you get off the bus, but when they do there's a Husker walk.
Unity walk, Husker walk,
Unity
whatever.
Walk, Husker walk. I think the feel is different. I think it's it's a unique place to be. Obviously, it's a lot different than what I'm used to. But I think where you're, as a coach, you're like, okay, you feel way more comfortable with your team, and then now the anxiety is like you want them to go play as good as or want them to play.
There was a question asked today of Matt Rule about, what's the same or what's different about this Michigan team than the one he faced in 2023. Understandable question. I get it. It's worth knowing. But my goal for Thursday is going to be to ask Matt Rule, after a week of practice, what makes him feel better about his program being ready for a game like this year compared to where it was in 2023. Because I think to your point, we're going to spend a lot of time on Michigan because it's new, it's novel. They're the opponent coming into town. But at the end of the day, is Nebraska in a better position? Is Nebraska more athletic? Is Nebraska tougher? Is Nebraska more disciplined now than it was in 2023 to take advantage of a Michigan team that is also not where it was in 2023, right? Has the Matt Rule year 3 leap, has it happened yet? You can't say after just the non-conference, but you'll begin to see signs of it if Nebraska, or you'll continue to see signs and you'll see the validation of those signs if Nebraska as a program is in a better spot to compete and hopefully potentially beat a Michigan team in 2025 compared to where it was in 2023.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Dude, I'm sure. I don't ever want to speak for anybody. I'm pretty sure. He probably thinks so. And I think that's part of it because players put in the work. No team is, I don't think, out there perfect. I mean, obviously, there's tons of parity out there, and you can make a ton of scenarios for about 30 teams that they can reach their goals this year, and I'm sure Nebraska is one of them. So this is a big step in the process, and it's more of a mental hurdle, right? All the kind of checks and balances are there. The processes, outside of the field are there. So, that's where he's at, right? You got the fan support, financial support, all that stuff, right? All that stuff is there. So he's kind of got that going, and which then helps on the field, right? You got a GM and everything. There's kind of, the continuity is there. And now you just got to get the guys that, really step up and take advantage of this opportunity. It's a great opportunity.
That's all you can ask for.
And you can't feel sorry that Michigan has a freshman quarterback, and they don't have Blake Corum. They don't have J.J. McCarthy. They don't got 55 offensive linemen and defensive linemen. You can't feel sorry for them. They're Michigan. And so go beat them. And you just say, hey, look, we're going to get their best shot. They're going to give ours, and our best shot is better than theirs. In period. And really, to be honest with you, I want your best shot. I want you to come in here and play well.
Don't disrespect me and not give me your best shot.
Yeah, I mean, you know they're going to play hard, but I don't want Michigan to go back to Ann Arbor with any excuses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's two things. I want to beat you at your best, right? I don't, the whole, of course, if you come in and we cause 5 turnovers and so forth and so on. But when I beat you at your best, I want to beat you where people's like, Michigan played dang good. Nebraska played better. Because then people see that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the Bills, right? I was like, I'm glad they beat the Ravens, but did they really play well?
They played good enough to win, but that's different than playing well.
Right. I want to beat you and play well.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you strike the fear of God into people. You know what I'm saying?
You ever see a team do that?
Yeah, we did a little something, man. I was a young pup in '95. I wasn't riding on the coattails. I was making sure, I was a little puppy, and the big dogs was leading.
You got your scraps.
I did. I got busy.
Yeah.
I got busy a little bit, but I was definitely.
That's why you were there last weekend.
I was definitely chirping after the big dogs. Anyways, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll holler at you tomorrow.